looking for that special something for that special someone? Look no further than Young's Jewelry. Fine quality jewelry, such as the Kelly Waters Collection, lifetime warranty starting at $24 and up. Whether you're looking for wedding bands, watches, gifts, or something special for yourself, look no further than Young's Jewelry, 258 South Main Street, Oneida, Tennessee. Value Mart, Furniture and Appliance, your one-stop shop for all your appliance needs. Whether you need a stove, refrigerator, washer, dryer, or other amenities, come to Value Mart, Furniture and Appliance. Choose from quality name brands such as Whirlpool, Maytag, Frigidaire, and many others. With financing and layaway options available, come to Value Mart, Furniture and Appliance. Just off US 27 behind the Scott County School Bus Garage. That's Value Mart, Furniture and Appliance. South Fork Antiques and Treasures is not just another antique store. They're your home for local artisans. All your handmade and homemade local craftsmanship can be found at South Fork Antiques and Treasures. If you're looking for beautiful quiltings, paintings, glass art, woodworking, handcrafted gourds, local souvenirs, and much, much more, don't go all the way to Gatlinburg. Just stop in at South Fork Antiques and Treasures, South Oneida on US 27 in the old Pemberton building at South Fork Antiques and Treasures. Whether you're in 4 wheels or 18, Reed's Record Service is your best friend in your hour of need. Located in Hellenwood, Tennessee, and new location coming soon to Campbell County, Tennessee, just off I-75, exit 141. Let Reed's Record Service get that vehicle where it needs to go. Reed's accepts Geico, Cross Country Motor Club, AAA, Allstate, and most major credit cards. You never know when you need a tow, so keep this number on your speed dial, 423-569-6259. That's Reed's Record Service. Didn't use H&R Block? Then bring your return in for a free second look review. Last year we found differences on 2 out of 3 tax returns prepared by someone else. We'll check for missed deductions and credits to help make sure you get the maximum refund you're entitled to. We'll also certify whether or not your original return is accurate. Join the thousands of clients who have received more money with an H&R Block second look review. Whether you live in Whitley City, Oneida, Jacksboro, La Follette, Sparta, or Cookeville, never settle for less. H&R Block. All right, we are back. I'm your host, Lucas Hart. I'm here with Mr. Don Edwards, and appreciate having you, brother, from Morgan County. They let him run that place out there. Isn't that pretty neat? The Morgan County executive he is out there in Morgan County. So that's
sort
good.
of.
Yeah.
I have the title anyway.
Right. Yeah. Well, you got to answer the commission and all that too. I'm sure too. But we're talking about some different issues, and we're talking about some national issues tonight, but they affect every locality, whether it be Morgan, whether it be Scott, whether it be the McCreary, Whitley, or Campbell, whatever county you may live in this listening area. These issues affect you, and they're very, and I'm sure I could get any county executive from any one of those counties to come on this show, and it'd probably reiterate much of what you're saying, just because they're facing the same problem. They're facing the same dead-end road. It's either they raise taxes on you to pay the bills, or they cut your programs, which, most local counties are down to just basic necessities anyway.
We're basic necessities. That's where
we are. Schools, maybe garbage pickup some counties have.
Sure.
You've got your road systems and things like that.
Ambulance service, those services that are necessities that you just have to have.
But yet the price on them keeps going up and up and up and up.
It certainly does.
And wait till superinflation starts hitting us, and starting to hit us a little bit more and more. I don't know if you guys noticed, but a gallon of milk's getting on like $5.
Have you ever thought you'd see that in your life?
Exactly. It's food prices, and that's one of the things that is kind of a under the cloak, because they don't, when they're talking about inflation, they're saying our inflation is 2% or below right now, but they don't include food prices in that. They don't include energy prices in that mix,
right?
Because of supposedly the volatility of the markets and those type of things. But when we're looking at our households, and when we go to the grocery store and to the pump and those things that we actually spend our money for, we feel the inflation. You know, say there is no inflation, but we actually feel it, because the numbers that we get a lot of times from our news media, from our government, you have to take those with a grain of salt sometimes and say that may not be exactly the way that it is, and you can look into it a little further and find out what the whole truth actually is.
Well, yeah, I will say for gas prices. I mean, there's no reason for them to be as high as they are, even with inflation. You'd think on $2.50 a gallon at the most.
Sure.
But OPEC and places like that, because of, like you were talking about before, the lack of our energy independence, we are getting pummeled. We're letting people like OPEC, who's something that has nothing to do with America. They are a group of small third world country nations that are oil rich, who are deciding what they're going to charge for oil, and the whole nation follows their market pricing.
That's exactly right, and they basically hold America hostage also. And that's one of the reasons that we have so many armed service members at all corners of the globe, is to protect our supply line of our energy, because we've got to have energy.
Right.
The power went off in Morgan County, or parts of Morgan County yesterday, and when the power goes off, things just about shut down, because we can't do anything. That's how important our energy is, and that's the reason it's so important that we get it here.
Yeah.
We get it domestically, instead of relying on the good graces of the sheiks around the Arabian Peninsula,
and really
to stay.
And you know how they love us.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah, they're gonna bleed us dry if they can. And you look at these countries like Saudi Arabia; those places are filthy rich. They're the only places left in the world that are filthy rich, because they have a full win-win situation. They can oppress all their people and keep all the money and charge whatever price they want for gasoline per gallon or for oil.
And also, and this is where our United States government gets such a bad press sometimes, is because we prop up regimes like the Mubarak regime in Egypt, because that is a dictator that is our friend. So we pump billions and billions of dollars into those economies, and then we come to find out, that they've been mistreating their people, or they've done this to their people, simply because we needed their friendship to keep the supply of oil going, and have military bases there that we can launch our aircraft and mobilize our troops if we need to another area.
Well, I'll tell you what, you do have somebody in Wartburg over there who has come up with a smart idea, and I don't know whose idea it was, but you have a gas station over there that has a natural gas pump that does natural gas for cars. Because I know I have somebody from our area over here that drives and has to work all the way over in Oak Ridge, because they don't have a job here in Scott County, working all the way over in Oak Ridge, and they stop in Wartburg there every day and fill up for like $1 a gallon.
And that is
for
from
gas.
That's from
brilliant.
our local. Well, actually, it's our local utility, Citizens Gas.
Okay, is that who does that?
Citizens Gas Utility District has got a pump where you can fill up if you've got a natural gas vehicle, and they've really been on the front edge of starting to do that. And
that's brilliant. If I'd love to see them get one here. I mean, and it don't cost what, $10,000-$12,000. It sounds like a lot of money, but you think how much money you're going to save on a gallon. It's worth it to convert a vehicle over for that. Sure. If you got a nice vehicle.
And we have an abundance of natural gas in our area also. There's many wells in Scott and Morgan County that are good.
And you don't have the limitations on that like you have on coal and oil, do you?
Sure.
I mean, you're a little more.
You don't have a lot of the limitations, but you don't have the revenues coming into your local government from them also, because the revenues are very minuscule as compared to coal, or as compared to oil and those.
Right, they're a little more tax heavy. They can tax those a little bit more, I guess, because they're imported. I guess, right?
Right. The local government gets more revenue.
They don't tax you. You don't tax river water either.
Right. That's true. Yeah, right.
Right. So people don't understand it. I was actually reading an article today, and I thought this would be something to be interesting of conversation to you. One thing that one of the big reasons why we really need to worry about this debt, and you had mentioned too that you think the biggest problem this country has is our debt. And I don't doubt that, at least. I mean, people say, no, we need more jobs. But honestly, with a debt like it is, you're not going to get more jobs. People aren't trusting in our economy to want to invest in our economy.
Exactly.
And they're not trusting in the leadership of our country right now. And this was an article I found from a commentary that I found from a Fox News contributor, and he said that talking about the statement from that Finch rating made this past week, and Finch is another one like the S&P who has a chance of making a big rating. And these devaluations of our dollar and these devaluations of our credit rating, you might think, what people don't seem to understand is it moves us when you get your credit rating devalued and you got a credit card. It's going to cost you more money. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to pay a higher interest rate. Now, when America's going to do the same thing, if we have to go get credit, and this is where we're at. We are borrowing 42 cents of every dollar that we spend.
Exactly.
42 cents. Do you know that every economy that has ever crashed at 40 cents? We're on borrowed time.
We sure are. We certainly are, and I don't think it's filtered down to the local folks yet about how serious a problem this debt problem is.
This next election will be the single most important election, I think, in American history.
And I certainly hope that everybody that goes to the polls will look at this debt issue and whatever the candidate is, what is their proposal to take care of that?
Right.
And it's human nature. We want cuts, don't we? Mm-hmm. But we want you to suffer the cut.
Right,
I don't want to have to suffer the cut. Don't cut my stuff. Cut your stuff, and I'm for it.
Right.
That's the reason when we talk about raising taxes, folks are for raising taxes, except they want it to be your taxes. Yes. I don't want it to be my tax. I want it to be your taxes.
Right.
We'll say we'll have an income level that somebody making $250,000. Yeah. Let's raise those people's taxes. And when I say that because I don't make $250,000.
Right.
We have to have fairness in this country. This country was based on fairness, hard work, determination, perseverance, and self-determination, where we determine how far we go. We determine how much we get. You don't determine that for me. I don't determine it for you.
Right.
And I feel like the role of government that helps each one of us to take advantage of those opportunities is stay out of the way and make sure the field is fair and it's level for everybody.
Right. And there's a few plans out there that I think right now could really help in that regard.
There's some
promises. There's a few different ones. Now the candidates that are out right now, I don't know if if you got any one particular one that you're liking as of right now, but there's a few of them that have a good idea on a few tax rates.
Sure.
Some of them might be a little might need. Granted, any plan, guys, right now it's just coming up with an idea that would work. They're all going to need to be tweaked.
Right.
You've got to tweak them, and of course you got to think. And we don't live in a Candyland society, so you can't just go in there to Washington and say, "Here's my plan. Everybody vote on it and pass it, and it's going to go through." It's just not going to work that way. You're going to have to. It's going to have to be compromised and things. But there are some aggressive plans out there that I think could really make a difference. But it's got to get the American people's got to start thinking seriously.
Sure does. And Lucas, also what you were talking about is the great American way. Mm-hmm. Is not everybody agree on everything.
Right.
Let's get in there. If we've got six different opinions, let's hammer this thing out and keep hammering until we get it right.
Right.
See, because if it's my view that the leftist Marxists in this country, they want a fascist state. They want a state where there's only one party and we're in control and everybody do what we says and we're going to make sure everything is peachy keen for you. But see, our Constitution...
Until the economy collapses, because there's no way they can sustain that lifestyle.
And it always turns into some sort of a dictatorship.
Europe's going through that right now.
They certainly are. And if anyone is following what's happening in Europe today, that is America's future. Mm-hmm. Germany last week was trying to sell some bonds. Germany is the most stable, solid country in the European Union, and they had trouble selling their bonds. Nobody wanted to take a risk because they are in that Eurozone.
Oh, the whole EU is sinking right now.
It certainly is.
And the Euro is about to go completely bust. And guys, the American dollar's next. I mean, if we are right now, we are talking about co-signing some loans for the EU in order to help them stabilize the region again. Mm-hmm. And look where we are. And we're
Exactly.
co-signing.
Exactly.
Well, guys, we're going to have to get ready to take another quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have a few more minutes to wrap up this conversation that we're talking about. We're having Mr. Don Edwards here with us. I'm the Christian Conservative, Mr. Luke Hart. So make sure you guys come back, stick around for the rest of this conversation. Right after this. He that hath an ear, let him hear.